Radio Lewes. Local webcasting for a worldwide audience.
You're listening to Radio Lewes, where the music matters, and welcome back to Guess the Year. As always, I am Ben Fuller, and as always, I have a given year. I have music from the charts you'd have been listening to, and trivia and events going on around the place. And as always, we start with the music. And that was Suede and Stay Together. So we start the year in January. As always, on the 8th of January, Jane Torville and Christopher Dean win the British Ice Dancing Championship at the Sheffield Arena. On the 14th of January, the Duchess of Kent joins the Roman Catholic Church, the first member of the royal family to convert to Catholicism in more than 300 years. Staying with royalty, on the 18th of January, the Prince of Wales retires from competitive polo at the age of 45. On the 20th of January, very sadly, Sir Matt Busby, the legendary former Manchester United manager, dies, age 84. And on the 31st of January, British Aerospace sells its 80% stake in Rover to BMW, leaving Britain without an independent volume car maker. It is envisaged that the new Rover Group will produce more than 1 million cars per year worldwide and will be Europe's 7th largest car maker. We carry on with the music now. This is M People. I said that was them people with Renaissance. Into February and continuing its battle against the British coal industry. British Coal confirms the closure of 4 more pits, a move which will claim some 3,000 jobs. On the 7th of February, Stephen Milligan, Conservative MP for Eastleigh in Hampshire, is found dead in his home in Chiswick, West London. Police describe his death as suspicious. On the 11th, forensics tests reveal that MP Stephen Milligan died from asphyxiation and that his death was probably the result of an autoerotic sex practice. From the 12th to the 27th, Great Britain and Northern Ireland compete in the Winter Olympics and win 2 bronze medals. On the 24th, police in Gloucester begin excavations at 25 Cromwell Street, the home of 52-year-old builder Fred West, investigating the disappearance of his daughter Heather, who was last seen alive some 7 years previous when she was 16 years old. And on the 28th of February, Fred West is charged with the murder of his daughter Heather and the murder of Shirley Robinson, an 18-year-old woman who was last seen alive in 1978. Grim news indeed. More music now. Blur there with Girls and Boys. March is not a very eventful month, although the beginning of the month there were 3 IRA mortar attacks on Heathrow Airport on the 8th, the 10th and the 13th of March. On the 8th, police in Gloucester confirmed they have now found the bodies of 8 people buried at 25 Cromwell Street. On the 12th, the first women are ordained as priests in the Church of England. And on the 19th, Europe's first inverted roller coaster, the Nemesis, opens at Alton Towers. More music now with the Crash Test Dummies.
Once there was this kid who got into an accident and couldn't come to school, but when he finally came back, his hair had turned from black into bright white. He said that it was from when the cars had smashed his soul hard. Once there was this girl who wouldn't go and change with the girls in the change room, and when they finally made her, they saw birthmarks all over her body. She couldn't quite explain it, they'd always just been there. But both girl and boy were glad, 'cause one kid had it worse than that. 'Cause then there was this boy whose parents made him come directly home right after school, and when they went to their church, they shook and lurched all over the church floor. He couldn't quite explain it, they'd always just gone there.
Crash Test Dummies is not even a title, is it? Okay, we're into April, and on the 1st of April, the Women's Royal Air Force is fully merged into the Royal Air Force. I'm afraid we've got to stick with the disgusting Fred West for the time being. On the 10th of April, human remains are found at Kemberley, Gloucestershire, by police working on the Gloucester mass murder case. The body is believed to be that of Catherine Rena Costello, Fred West's first wife, who has not been seen alive since 1971. On the 28th of April, Rosemary West, the 4-year-old wife of suspected serial killer Fred, is charged with 3 of the murders her husband stands accused of. Rosemary West was first arrested 7 days previously, 2 months after her husband was taken into custody. Now, I normally stay away from the political stuff, but on the 29th of April, an opinion poll shows that the Conservative support has fallen to 26%. Their worst showing in any major opinion poll since coming to power 15 years ago. We carry on with the music now, and this is the Pretenders.
So sad, the tears are in your eyes. Come on and come to me now. Don't be ashamed to cry. Let me see you through, 'cause I've seen the dark side too. When the night falls on you, you don't know what to do. Nothing you confess could make me love you less. I'll stand by you. I'll stand by you. Won't let nobody hurt you. I'll stand by you. So if you're mad, get mad. Don't hold it all inside. Come on and talk to me now. Hey, what you got to hide? I get angry too. Well, I'm alive like you. When you're standing at the crossroads, don't know which path to choose. Let me come on.
I'll Stand By You from the Pretenders. Okay, we're into May. On the 6th of May, the Channel Tunnel is finally officially opened. On the 9th of May, there was the release of that song by Wet Wet Wet. You know, the one from 4 Weddings and a Funeral. The one that spent 15 consecutive weeks at #1 in the UK singles charts. The longest spell ever attained by a British act. Well, I'm not playing it because I wouldn't have the strength to finish the show if I had to listen to that. And if you are a fan of that show, I'm very sorry for you, and maybe there's some treatment available. On the 13th of May, Four Weddings and a Funeral was released in the UK. On the 25th of May, the Camelot Group Consortium wins the contract to run the UK's first national lottery. And on the 31st of May, there was that infamous meeting between Tony Blair and Gordon Brown to decide who would be the leader of the Labour Party. We'll carry on with the music now. This is a great one.
Glass hour, you turn and cower, see it turn to dust. Move on a stone dark night, we take to flight. Snowfall turns to rust, seeming to fuse in mind like a nursing rhyme. Fat man starts to fall, here in a hostile place. I hear your face start to call. And if you think that I've been losing my way, that's because I'm slightly blinded. And if you think that I don't make too much sense, that's because I'm broken-minded. Don't keep it inside. Ganges sky, I have to lie. Shadows move in pairs, ring out from a bruised postcard in the shooting yard, looking through the tears. Out of the black slate time, we move in line, but never reach an end. Falling along straight down as the ice comes down, rivers start to bend. And if you think that I've been losing my way, that's because I'm slightly blinded. And if you think that I don't make too much sense, that's because I'm broken-minded. Don't keep it inside. Inside.
Oh, a wonderful tune from Stiltskin, Inside. Just a shame the album was rubbish. Okay, we're into June. On the 2nd of June, a Chinook crash on the Mulliken Tyre. An RAF Chinook helicopter carrying more than 20 leading intelligence experts crashes into the Mulliken Tyre, killing everybody on board, sadly. On the 7th of June, TV playwright Dennis Potter sadly died from cancer at the age of 59 in Ross on Wye, only a week after his wife Margaret sadly died of the same illness. I'm afraid we can't escape Fred West, but I'm going to leave him just for now. On the 15th of June, Britain's railways grind to a virtual standstill with a strike of more than 4,000 signalling staff. And on the 30th of June, magistrates in Gloucester charged Fred West with a total of 11 murders. And they also charge Rose West with 9. On the 3rd of July, Fred West is charged with a 12th murder, that of Anna McFall. You're listening to Guess the Year here on Radio Lewes, where the music matters. We have more music.
I will survive without you.
Ace of Base with Don't Turn Around. Now, July is so small, I'm going to give you August as well. July 14th, the Queen opens the SIS building, the new headquarters of MI6, on the banks of the River Thames in London. It's very strange that that's so public. 21st sees Tony Blair win the Labour Party leadership election, defeating John Prescott and Margaret Beckett. And on the 26th, the Embassy of Israel in London is damaged in a bombing. On the 1st of August, fire destroys the Norwich Central Library, including most of its historical records. And the University of London founds the School of Advanced Study, a group of postgraduate research institutes. 20th of August, Huddersfield Town move into their new all-seater Alfred McAlpine Stadium, which has an initial capacity of 16,000, which will rise to 20. On the 26th of August, the Sunday Trading Act comes into full effect, permitting retailers to trade on Sundays, though restricting opening times of larger stores to a maximum of 6 hours. And on the 31st, the Provincial Irish Republican Army declares a ceasefire. More music now. This is The Grid. Grid there with Swamp Thing. Okay, September, not much going on again. Lidl, German discount food supermarket chain, opens its first 10 stores in Britain. On the 2nd and the 4th of September, the first Whitby Goth Weekend takes place in Whitby, North Yorkshire, featuring Incubus, Succubus, 13 Candles, Nightgroves, All Living Fear. And on the 30th, Woolwich, North Weald and Ongar railway stations on the London Underground close permanently after the last train's run. We got music now from Gun.
Sister and your mama tell we're about to go down, and you know just what to do. Wave your hands in the air like you don't care. Glide by the people as they start to look and stare. Do your dance, do your dance, do your dance quick, oh mama. Come on baby, tell me what the word, oh word up. Everybody say, when you hear the call you got to get the call to word. No matter where you say it, you know that you'll be out now. All you sucker DJs who think you fly, there's got to be a reason, and we know the reason why. Why you put on those airs and you act real cool. Got to realize that you're acting like fools. Now this music we can use it to breed a dance. We don't have the time for psychological romance. No romance for me or my mama. Come on, baby, tell me what's the word up. Everybody say, when you hear the call, you got to get it underway. Down out for love, down out for love, down out for love.
Oh, wonderful cover of Cameo's Word Up there by Gun. Okay, we're into October. On the 20th of October, the Guardian newspaper reports the Cash for Questions affair that two Conservative MPs, Neil Hamilton and Tim Smith, took bribes from Harrods chief Mohammed Al-Fayed to ask questions in the House of Commons. On the 30th, Korean industrial giant Daewoo announces it will start selling cars in Britain the following year. And on the 31st, the Duke of Edinburgh attends a ceremony in Israel where his late mother, Princess Alice of Battenberg, is honoured as a righteous among the nations for sheltering Jewish families from the Nazis in Athens during World War II. Music now from Sheryl Crow.
Hit it. This ain't no disco. It ain't no country club either. This is LA. All I wanna do is have a little fun before I die. Says the man next to me out of nowhere. It's apropos of nothing. He says his name is William. I'm sure he's Bill or Billy or Mac or Buddy. And he's played ugly to me. And I wonder if he's ever had a day of fun in his whole life. And we are drinking beer at noon on Tuesday. The bar that faces a giant car wash. The good people of the world are washing their cars on their lunch break, hosing and scrubbing as best they can in skirts and suits. They drive their shiny Datsuns and Buicks back to the phone company, the record store too. Well, then nothing like Billy and me, 'cause all I wanna do is have some fun. I got a feeling I'm not the only one. All I wanna do is have some fun. I got a feeling I'm not the only one. All I wanna do is have some fun until the sun comes up over Santa Monica Boulevard. I like a good beer buzz early in the morning, and Billy likes to peel the labels from his bottles of Bud. He shreds them on the bar, then he lights every match in an oversized pack, letting each one burn down to his thick fingers before blowing and cushioning them out. He's watching the bottles of Bud as they spin on the floor, and a happy couple enters the bar, dangerously close to one another. The bartender looks up from his one ass, but all I wanna do is have some fun. I got a feeling I'm not the only one. All I wanna do is have some fun. I got a feeling I'm not the only one. All I wanna do is have some fun until the sun comes up over Santa Monica Boulevard. Otherwise the bar is ours. The day and the night and the car wash too. The matches and the buds and the clean and dirty cars. The sun and the moon, but all I wanna do is have some fun. I got a feeling I'm not the only one. All I wanna do is have some fun. I got a feeling the party has just begun. All I wanna do is have some fun. I won't tell you that you're the only one. All I wanna do is have some fun until the sun comes up over Santa Monica Boulevard. Until the sun comes up over Santa Monica Boulevard.
Sheryl Crow with All I Wanna Do. We're into November now. On the 3rd of November, the Criminal Justice and Public Order Act received royal assent. This changes the right to silence an accused person, allowing for inferences to be drawn from their silence, which increases police powers of stop and search and gives them greater rights to take and retain intimate body samples. It changes the law relating to collective trespass to land, criminalising some previously civil offences, and tightens the law in some areas relating to obscenity, pornography and sexual offences. and it lowers the age of consent for male homosexual acts from 21 to 18 years, while setting the age of female acts at 16, and for the first time in English law recognising the existence of lesbianism. On the 10th of November, BBC One broadcast the first episode of the sitcom Vicar of Dibley, created by Richard Curtis for its lead actress Dawn French. On the 15th of November, the Daily Telegraph becomes the first national newspaper in Britain to launch an online edition, the Electronic Telegraph. On the 19th, the first UK National Lottery draw takes place. More music now. This is the Rednecks.
If it hadn't been for Cotton Eye Joe, I'd been married a long time ago. Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe? If it hadn't been for Cotton Eye Joe, I'd been married a long time ago. Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe?
Oh, good Lord, that song's going to be stuck in my head for the rest of the day now. Cotton Eye Joe from Rednecks. Okay, we're into December. Rover Group ends production of its long-running Maestro and Montego ranges, which were strong sellers during the 1980s, but have been produced in lower volumes due to the success of models like the Rover 200. On the 9th of December, the first meeting between the British government and Sinn Féin takes place in more than 70 years. On the 14th of December, Moore's murderer Myra Hindley, who has been in prison since 1966, is informed by the Home Office that she will never be released from prison. She's one of an estimated 15 life sentence prisoners who have been issued with a whole life tariff. And sadly, apart from some political nonsense, that's about it. I can tell you that deregulation of the milk market following the abolition of most functions of the Milk Marketing Board under terms of the Agriculture Act of 19... I'm not mentioning the date, takes place, and All Saints Church in Dewsbury is raised to the dignity of Dewsbury Minster, the first such modern elevation in the Church of England. And 0.5% of the UK population, approximately 300,000 people, now have access to the internet. That seems incredible. We got more music now from Oasis, and then we'll talk about movies and technology. Cigarettes and Alcohol from Oasis. Some of the movies you'd have been listening listening to, watching were colossally good films. The Shawshank Redemption, one of the best movies ever made. Forrest Gump, Disney's The Lion King, True Lies, The Santa Claus, The Flintstones, Dumb and Dumber, Clear and Present Danger, Speed, the only Jim Carrey movie I like, Mask, Pulp Fiction, another great film, Four Weddings and a Funeral, mentioned that earlier, Miracle on 34th Street, Muriel's Wedding, and Star Trek Generations. And the technology stuff. The world's first satellite digital television service is launched. Netscape Navigator released, quickly becoming the market leader from browsing the web. Java programming language, first released from Sun Microsystems. Scientists in southern England estimate the oldest Europeans at 500,000 years old. The Channel Tunnel, mentioned that one earlier. And the European fighter aircraft, the Eurofighter, makes its inaugural test flight after 10 years in development. If you haven't guessed it already, this has been 1994. You've been listening to Guess the Year. I've been Ben Fuller. This is Radio Lewes, where the music matters. Thank you so much for listening. I'm going to leave you with Corona and Rhythm of the Night. Till next time, stay safe. Ta-da.
The rhythm of the night, oh yeah. The rhythm of the night, this is the rhythm of my life, oh yeah. The rhythm of my life.
You can put some joy on my face. Oh, sunshine in the
Radio Lewes. Local community webcasting.